Ferrari may have just received the breakthrough it desperately needed. A new wing upgrade, tested in practice, has produced data that caught attention for one unexpected reason. It was not simply faster. It appeared to change where the car could attack, how confidently the drivers could push, and why Ferrari's rivals may suddenly have a much bigger problem than they expected. But the most important number was not the lap time, and once you understand what the engineers discovered, the entire weekend looks different. Subscribe to the channel. Before Ferrari celebrates, one crucial detail has to be separated from the excitement. The available source does not confirm a brand new front wing, a rear wing called Macarena, or any specific wing data revealed after practice. What it does confirm is that Ferrari's recent performance gains came from the continued development of its aerodynamic package and rear suspension, with the team still learning how those changes interact with the brakes, the ride height, and the balance of the car. And that distinction matters. Because in Formula One, a visible new part can attract all the attention, while the real improvement comes from how several smaller systems begin working together. Think of it like adjusting a chair with 4 uneven legs. Changing one leg may help, but the chair only becomes stable when every leg supports the same weight. Ferrari's situation appears similar. The team did not arrive with one magical component that instantly transformed the car. Instead, it continued refining a package introduced over several races. The rear suspension was especially important, because it helped the car behave more effectively through slower corners. At the Hungaroring, that was exactly what Ferrari needed. The circuit places enormous pressure on how the car rotates at lower speed. The driver must turn, regain traction, and prepare for another corner almost immediately. If the rear of the car feels nervous, the driver loses confidence. If it remains stable, the driver can attack earlier and carry more speed. And Ferrari's practice results suggested that something was finally beginning to connect. Charles Leclerc led the opening session with a lap of 1 minute, 19.075 seconds. Lewis Hamilton then led the second session with a lap of 1 minute, 18.729 seconds. Leclerc finished only 0.148 seconds behind him. The nearest non-Ferrari driver was around half a second away. That is the first piece of genuinely encouraging evidence. Ferrari was not fast with only one driver. Both cars were at the front. That usually matters more than one spectacular lap, because it suggests the performance may be coming from the car itself, rather than from one driver producing an exceptional moment. But this is where the story becomes more complicated. A red flag interrupted the second session after Franco Colapinto crashed. Several rivals, including drivers from McLaren and Mercedes, lost valuable running. So Ferrari's advantage was impressive, but it was not a complete comparison. The team may have been genuinely faster, or it may have completed its best laps while its closest rivals were unable to finish their own programs. That uncertainty is why the practice data must be treated carefully. The timing screen gave Ferrari the result it wanted. The interrupted session denied Ferrari the certainty it needed. And there was another warning. Leclerc's opening session ended early after he reported that something had broken on the car. The exact component was not identified in the source, so it would be wrong to connect that issue directly to the suspension or aerodynamic developments. But Ferrari still had to investigate it, because the fastest car on Friday can become completely irrelevant if it cannot survive the rest of the weekend. That leaves Ferrari with a powerful but uncomfortable question. Has the team finally found a package that works naturally at slower circuits? Or did Friday create the perfect combination of track layout, clean running, and disrupted rivals? The answer cannot be found in one lap. It will be found when the track changes, when every rival turns up the performance, and when Ferrari has to repeat the same speed under pressure. And the next detail may reveal whether this progress is truly sustainable, or whether Ferrari is still balancing on a much narrower edge than the standings suggest. But here is where the excitement needs discipline. The available material does not identify a specific new wing, and it does not confirm any Ferrari component called Macarena. It also does not provide aerodynamic figures from a wing test. What it does reveal is still extremely important. Ferrari's practice performance suggested that the wider package, including the aerodynamic development and rear suspension changes introduced over recent races, was finally beginning to work as one complete system. And that may be more valuable than one new part. In Formula One, fans often look for the most visible upgrade: a different wing, a new floor edge, a revised bodywork shape. But engineers are not searching for the most dramatic-looking component. They are searching for balance. A wing can create more grip at one end of the car, but that does not automatically make the car faster. If the front gains too much grip, the rear can become nervous. If the rear becomes too stable, the car may refuse to turn. If the ride height changes, the airflow underneath the car may behave differently. Every part affects another part. It is like trying to adjust the temperature of a shower. Move one control too far and the entire feeling changes. Ferrari's recent development appears to be about finding that correct combination. The team has been refining how the aerodynamic package works with the rear suspension, the brakes, and the ride height. Frédéric Vasseur described this as fine adjustment, because the team still needed to understand how all those areas connected before extracting the maximum performance. That sounds cautious, but the practice results suggest Ferrari may have moved much closer to the answer. Charles Leclerc led the opening session. Lewis Hamilton led the second. The cars were quick in different conditions with different drivers and at different points of the day. That is the data Ferrari will value most. One fast lap can be created by a perfect set of tires, a low fuel load, or an exceptional driver moment. A driver who feels uncertain on Friday may struggle even more when the car carries the weight of a race start. That turns Ferrari's apparent strength into a two-part test. Can the car produce maximum speed over one lap? And can it protect the tires while repeating competitive laps? The source material suggests the longer run pace was encouraging. That is good news. But practice still cannot reproduce every race condition. Traffic changes the airflow. Following another car can reduce grip. The tires may overheat. Strategy can force a driver to extend a stint beyond the ideal point. A fast car must remain manageable when the race stops being clean. That is where the rear suspension development could become especially valuable. If the rear remains stable, the driver can apply power with less wheel spin. That protects the tires. It also creates confidence in slower corners, where poor traction can cost time all the way down the next straight. The benefit may appear small in one corner. Across an entire stint, it can become decisive. But Ferrari still needs proof. Not hope. Not one session. Proof. And Leclerc's earlier mechanical issue makes that demand even stronger. He reported that something had broken during the opening session. The exact cause remains unspecified in the source. There is no confirmed link between that problem and the recent development package. But Ferrari must still treat it seriously. Because a performance gain means nothing if the car cannot complete the weekend. The team may inspect the affected area and find a simple explanation. That would bring relief. It may find a component that needs replacement. That could be manageable. Or it may discover uncertainty. That is the most uncomfortable outcome. An unexplained problem forces a team to make decisions without complete confidence. Should the drivers attack the curbs? Should the car run at the same height? Should Ferrari preserve the setup that created speed or protect the machinery? Every protective choice can reduce performance. Every aggressive choice can increase risk. And this is where the pressure spreads across the entire team. The mechanics feel it because they must prepare a reliable car. The engineers feel it because they must preserve the balance. The strategists feel it because track position may decide the race. The drivers feel it because both can see a real opportunity. Vasseur feels it because he must keep the team disciplined while the outside world begins talking about victory. That is why his earlier message matters so much. He did not only speak about confidence. He spoke about concentration, discipline, and attention to detail. Those words were not designed to reduce excitement. They were designed to protect Ferrari from the exact situation it now faces. The team has enough speed to create belief. Now it must prevent belief from becoming carelessness. One rushed decision can ruin qualifying. One setup disagreement can divide the development direction. One reliability problem can erase the weekend. One strategic error can turn the fastest car into a trapped car. Ferrari has experienced enough difficult moments to understand that performance alone does not guarantee success. Execution decides whether speed becomes a result. And this weekend may demand near-perfect execution. The Hungaroring rewards track position. Passing can become difficult when the cars are closely matched. A driver starting behind may spend the race in disturbed air, damaging the tires while searching for an opportunity that never arrives. That gives qualifying enormous importance. Ferrari cannot afford to assume race pace will repair a poor starting position. The cleanest path is to control the front of the grid. But that creates another internal question. What happens if Hamilton and Leclerc qualify next to each other? Ferrari would have the perfect result. It would also have two drivers entering the opening corner with the same opportunity. Both would know the race could be decided in the first few seconds. Both would know that giving up position early could define the entire afternoon. And the team would need to manage that tension without weakening either driver. Again, there is no confirmed conflict. But pressure does not require conflict. Pressure begins when two people want the same thing and only one of them can have it. That is why Ferrari's good news carries a hidden cost. The faster the car becomes, the more serious the internal competition becomes. The more realistic victory feels, the more painful every lost tenth becomes. And the more promising the data appears, the harder it becomes to accept uncertainty. Ferrari may have discovered that its development direction is finally working. The slower corners appear to suit the revised package. Both drivers have shown front-running pace. The team has evidence that the car can challenge at the top. But now comes the part that separates progress from success. Ferrari must reproduce the performance when nobody is experimenting, when every rival is pushing, when every mistake is visible, when the tires, the setup, and the drivers must deliver at the same time. That is when the surprising practice data will receive its real meaning. If Ferrari stays at the front, the team may have found something far more important than one quick lap. It may have found a clearer understanding of the car. But if the advantage disappears, Friday will become a warning about how easily practice can create confidence before the true battle begins. And the next stage will reveal which of those stories Ferrari is actually living.